Hi, I'm Michaela Bedgood, and today I'm going to be making elephant toothpaste. To do that, you're going to need some hydrogen peroxide, some dish soap, and you can add some food coloring if you want. I'm going to be. And then you're going to need some yeast, a thermometer, and just some water. So first you're going to start by taking your hydrogen peroxide and putting it into a cup. There's not a specific amount, just whatever you think is good. Just a little good amount. I'm going to say that's good. And then you're going to need a couple drops of dish soap. I know it looks like hand soap, but I promise it's dish soap. So there, just a couple drops. And then you're going to take your food coloring, you're going to add a couple drops. Then you're going to want to mix that up. It's pretty well mixed. And then you can set that off to the side for now. And then you're going to want to take your yeast, and you're going to need something to put it in. And I'm just going to take 2 teaspoons, but it honestly doesn't have to be like, it's just whatever feels good. That's just what feels good for me. So, you take your yeast, cap it up, and put it back. And then you're going to need to add some water, but the water has to be between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go pop this in the microwave. Alright, so this is warmed up to about like 122 degrees, so that's between 120 and 130. So now I'm going to just add some into the yeast. And then I'm going to mix it up just with the thermometer, just whatever to mix it up. Just going to add a bit more. Smells very yeasty. If you know that smell, it's not a good smell. Alright, and now you're going to need to let this sit for like 10 minutes so the yeast can activate. So we'll come back in 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes and I had it left covered. And now you can see it is foamy, and not foamy, but like more milky. So now we're just going to pour this into this, but just to be safe, because we are expecting a reaction, you're going to have a pan underneath of it for whatever will happen. So take this one and this, and we're going to just mix it into that. And it is foaming up. Ooh, and it is warm to the touch. Yeah, it is very warm. It's actually getting a little warm. I'm going to set this down. And it smells like yeast, so yay. Sarcastic yay. So during the demonstration, I first started by pouring hydrogen peroxide into a cup. I then added a few drops of dish soap and some food coloring, and then mixed them together. Then in a second cup, I made a yeast solution of hot water and a small cup of yeast. After I made the yeast solution, I poured the yeast mixture into the first solution over a container, which is now just full of this product. So after I poured the yeast solution into the first solution, after being exposed to one another, they began to react by producing a foam-like substance that quickly expanded, and it was also warm to the touch. We know from this that a chemical reaction took place as these bubbles of the foam were created. So that's just showing a new product was made. And then another way that we know that this was a chemical reaction is that that the reaction formed heat since the foam was warm in temperature. This actually means that this was an exothermic reaction. Exothermic reactions are just chemical reactions that release heat. This reaction occurs as when the yeast was added to the hydrogen peroxide and dish soap solution, it began to act like a catalyst that separated the oxygen from hydrogen peroxide. The foam that was produced was the oxygen-filled bubbles from the hydrogen peroxide being broken down into oxygen and water. And this was the elephant toothpaste, and it's how it works.